Headphones on, let's do this.
Hey, do you know of a podcast I could listen to that has nerd and comic books and stuff? I really can't find one.
I say, you ever heard of the Nerd Dome podcast?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerd Dome Podcast, episode 270. I am your podcaster without fear, Luke, and today I am joined with...
Hi. The uncannily put on the spot right before we started with a question. And I'm thinking. So I'm going to be quiet.
He's got his thinking face on.
Yes. I'm going to zone out thinking.
And I am the alliterative Andrew.
And we have a returning host.
Yeah, the infrequent, incontinent Winter Kyle. Hi.
I really liked the... Yeah. that's what really did it for me right there. How you guys been? How was your week?
It's been a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew,
Yeah,
everything ready.
full of days and hours and this time of year. Don't ask this time of year. It's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, Andrew, you've been getting everything prepped for the convention?
Getting prepped for FanX. We'll be at the Utah Comic Creators booth hosted by the Nerd Store on Friday, noon to 4. But I also have a panel from like noon to 1:30 or noon to 1. So I will see you after that. But
After
Chris
the
will be
panel.
there to greet you.
Yeah. I just got done going through all of my notes and prep for the panels, and Chelsea may have leaked a little into my preparation because I'm at like 32 pages of notes for the Wolverine one, and then like another 16 for the Jack Kirby one. I know I'm not gonna need them.
She's a terrible. She's been a terrible example. She's been a terrible You are not supposed to prepare or plan
I'm
at all.
supposed to just have a beer and wing it.
You're barely supposed to even know what the topic is when you walk into those things. That is the only way it works.
Oh man.
The way it seems.
Yeah, and I'm just like, everyone's gonna cover most of this stuff, but I was like, let me write it down just in case we get to something that doesn't get covered. I can be like, oh, and that as well. But with our panelists, we'll get it covered.
I look forward to your lengthy dissertation on Romulus and his influence on the character.
I'm just gonna get up and start pacing back and forth behind the chairs with a laser pointer that points at nothing.
Yeah.
As you see here, everyone across.
Periodically shoot someone in the audience that's losing their attention. Yeah.
You, sir, or like what teachers used to do back in the day, get a chalk eraser and throw it at people falling asleep in the panel. But I would be for that gag. Okay, now if we can all draw your attention over here, and I just draw a circle on the wall with a laser pointer, and there's nothing over there, just to watch everybody turn and look at the wall. I would love that.
Don't underestimate sight gags in a panel. They work really well.
Yeah, a lot of prop comedy too. You bring your trunk of props. Yeah.
Andrew starts smashing watermelons Gallagher style on the front of the stage every time someone doesn't beat him in a trivia question. So bring the watermelons too in the gag trunk. Oh man, Brian, how have you been?
Good. I took yesterday off to do some house stuff for FanX started, and today I started working at FanX doing their IT stuff, and that was fun.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool to see the Salt Palace go from not being set up to being set up.
Yeah. That's
Peaceful.
I've seen like the time lapse photos from the
Yeah.
time lapse video from up in the little room up there, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I just hope we can get a cookie this time. So
No cookies. They're all
no
out
cookies
already.
all out of the
I've
cookies.
eaten them all.
Don't worry. What if you strategically stashed cookies throughout the Salt Palace
in my stomach
tomorrow for us, and then you give us cryptic clues and where to find the
like
cookies?
Like this really obtuse Easter egg hunt. I like it.
Yeah, it's a
Just,
photo.
like,
of
just hide them all in that third floor bathroom that nobody ever uses.
Don't tell people about that.
What were you saying, Andrew?
That's my oasis. Oh yeah. Take a picture of where you can see where you've hidden it. Like this is the POV of the cookies, and we have to walk around
laying on the ground. Like, no, this isn't it. This isn't it. The pillar's in the wrong spot. We're moving on.
Get our Indiana
Fantastic
Jones cane. Get the light.
Ziploc bag inside the hand sanitizer stations.
Yeah.
They'll be perfectly safe. Nobody ever uses them.
You have to stand with the staff on top of the root beer dispensing station and hold it to the east and follow the line, and you'll find it under a used VHS copy of Fantastic Four. That'd be great.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so we had some shows come out and we had some trailers come out, and first I want to talk about the Thunderbolts trailer that came out on Monday, I believe. Andrew, we'll start with you. What did you think of it?
Yeah, it looked cute, funny. I like the I like the relationship that Red Guardian had with the kids.
Mhm.
And so I'm glad to see more of that. I don't know, looks good. Surprised to see the Sentry because
Right.
they recast him, right? I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, wasn't it the kid from Walking Dead originally?
Carl?
Glenn.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Glenn.
It was originally
Yeah.
Glenn. Yep.
Hmm.
But instead they went with Bill Pullman's kid. So
Lou.
maybe
he
one
needed
day,
a job. He needed a job. Bill called in a favor.
maybe he will one day grow up to remake Independence Day and play his father's role as the best cinema president. Yeah. Ryan, what'd you think?
It looked really good. I really liked the Black Widow movie when they were all doing that showcasing that family. I really like him, David Harbour. Yeah,
Mhm.
playing Red Guardian. I think he does that version of that character really well. I'm excited to see these characters together. I want to see more of the. Why is her name escaping me? The one that can walk through walls.
Ghost.
Oh, Ghost.
Ghost. Thank you. I'm excited to see more of her because I really liked her from the Ant-Man when she debuted in there. Sentry. Yeah, I forgot Sentry was going to be in this. So I'm like, Bob. Who's Bob?
Hydra
The
Bob?
trailer.
That's what at first I
This is
said.
the
I was
same
like,
thing I said. Same thing I said. Who is Bob?
yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm excited to see it. It looks funny and it looks like there's action, and I hope this one will be a good hit.
I am excited to see more Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. I think that's awesome. I think she's gonna. I was like, when she popped up, what was it, Falcon and Winter Soldier? I was like, yes, this is gonna be awesome. I also think it'll be nice to see Wyatt Russell's U.S. agent, because he was you were supposed to not like the character in
Jerk.
they did it so well. You're supposed to not like him. You're like,
yeah,
Mhm.
you
Why is he
really
such a
didn't like him.
but I
This guy's a
watched
dick.
right. But if you haven't watched the it's the Godzilla TV show on Apple Plus with Kurt and Wyatt Russell, and he plays the younger version of him. He is excellent in that, and I'm just like, oh, he's good at his job. Okay, that's why I hated him, because I was supposed to. Okay, so and that little bit where he's like, is that Bucky? Right before his car gets exploded. Also, Sebastian Stan, good to see him again. And I'm kind of sad Chris isn't here because I know he's excited for Thunderbolts. So we'll have to see what he has to say after our minute of trailer that we got. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. It's fun. Like
It should be. It'll be the Crimson Dynamo show. It's going to be the David Harbour show. That's really all it is.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's just like
there is no way he doesn't just chew his way through the scenery every moment he's on screen.
And what seems fun, but not like how Guardians was fun, if that makes sense, or like how Thor Ragnarok was fun. It seems like it still has kind of it looks like it has a darker tone, but with those lighter, like, character moments and like the quippy jokes and stuff like that. I just don't see it being like a James Gunn film, not like a Suicide Squad. You know what I mean? That's just kind of the vibe I got. But Kyle, you were the most recent one to watch it.
Yeah. So I appreciated the strategic use of the Pixies, which unfortunately was thoroughly distracting for the entirety of the trailer, because it was way too pitched down and way too slow. So it was just making me crazy. Like that's not how the song goes. But no, it does look very much like it's going to have a slightly darker tone, which is good. I mean, that's what you have to do for a Thunderbolts show. Otherwise, it is just too campy.
Now I'm looking up the release date. I can't remember if Thunderbolts comes out first or Captain America. So that's May. Let's see. Because I heard, Thunderbolt Ross is going to be in it as well. So you get double Harrison Ford.
He better be in the Thunderbolts movie. It's named after him.
So February for Captain America and then May for Thunderbolts. So maybe we get a little Red Hulk in there too. Fun. I really hope, I know Harrison Ford doesn't have a mustache, but I really hope when he turns into the Red Hulk, he does get a mustache, because that's my favorite Red Hulk, with the mustache and the aviator. And I would push for that, because it's solid. But the other, let's move on to the shows. We had the first 2 episodes of Disney Plus Agatha All Along. We'll start with Brian this time.
What did he say?
I didn't catch that. The Cybermen are attacking.
We'll start with Brian this time with Agatha.
Agatha. Okay.
Yes. Hopefully the recording on my side is totally fine, and everyone's like, why are they just stopping?
The song. I wish that all Marvel content had a song partway through everything, because that's what I need in my life. I've decided.
The musical Marvel.
Yeah,
Really,
just a little
we need
number.
more of that. We need
This
more.
little number in the middle is what I need. This little thing to get me through.
This
I
sounds
just
like my own
I want-
personal hell.
I want full on musical numbers.
Yeah.
Full on
Just
musical is fine because
Choreographed
it's like
with
one
the-
episode.
with a chorus, an entire musical episode. That's what we need. Yeah,
Yeah, like
Okay, that's-
Strange New World.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
I
Yeah.
even agree with that because I can skip that episode and then just go to the next one. But like musicals strung out through the entire thing sounds like my
Mhm.
own personal hell.
Did you fast forward through the song, Luke?
No, but I was folding laundry. So
So did like when it came on, did you start folding laundry, and then when it stopped, did you sit back down?
yes.
yeah, like
Um,
musical chairs, but with laundry.
I don't, Luke. I don't know if I would admit that publicly.
Well, I just did.
Patty
It's on the internet
LuPone
now.
will hunt you down. She will kick down your door and kick your ass.
She just like starts creeping through my window right now. I'm
Like,
"Oh my God."
how dare you disrespect a performance? Yeah.
I love this show. I loved WandaVision, and I love this show. I love Catherine Hahn. I love Aubrey Plaza. I love Aubrey Plaza as a villain. I am super excited to see where more of this goes. I'll be devastated if Joe Locke is not Wiccan, is not Billy. I need him to be Billy. And I really want to talk about who y'all think he is because I have ideas.
I didn't even consider Billy, man. That's pretty good guess.
I need
Yeah.
this to happen. But I am so excited for this. This is right up my alley. My boyfriend loves it too. The song has been stuck in his head, but only the one word and just a few notes. So that's what he's been singing, just down, down, down. all for the past few days. Because we watched it like the other night, the second episode. And yeah, I love that it picks up where kind of WandaVision and Doctor Strange kind of left off a little bit. And that it kind of has that same tone from WandaVision. It's funny and it's the first episode is fantastic. The second episode felt more like setup, which is interesting because generally the first episode of things is more setup, but like chess pieces moving or like getting the board set up to play the game was the second episode. Yeah, I'm so excited to see where it goes.
So I think I kind of felt the opposite after I finished the first episode. I'm like, I am very, very happy that they released the second episode, because if I was left with that first episode, I'd be like, okay, I want to watch it again, but I might forget that it comes out and I might, go watch something else. Because I enjoyed the second episode way more than I enjoyed the first one. And I know it was because it was how it was written. Like it was supposed to be one of those overacted True Detective style stuff, but like some of those scenes where she was like yelling at the library lady and I was just like, ooh, this is kind of rough, but I can feel that it's building somewhere, so I didn't really worry too much about it. But then you only get her as like Agatha at like the very, very end of the first episode, so I'm really glad I immediately had a second episode. Also, I'm always WandaVision, I think, was the only exception. I am a put it all out at one time and let me binge it kind of viewer. I love that. Again, other than WandaVision, because that one was like, what's going on? There was a lot of discussion about it, but stuff like Secret Invasion, Captain America Winter Soldier, or Falcon Winter Soldier, like I just wanted all those at the same, like all at one time, just put it all out there. So this one, I was glad they did too, because it got me hooked to then come back for tomorrow's episode. So, but yeah, no, I liked it. again, the musical. I know there's people out there, the songs that love it, but
Mhm.
my favorite reaction was Deborah Jo Rupp. Am I supposed to know this song? Because that's how I feel every time people will like hear a song on the radio and start singing it, and I'm like, I don't know this song. Am I supposed to know this song? So yeah, so I really resonated with her in that moment, and she's always a joy. So I'm interested to see how that's gonna work. But yeah, Kyle, what do you think?
Very different episodes. Like the shift in tone was it was neat. It was very, very neat to watch. I was confused almost the entire first episode. I mean, I was like fully engaged, but kept forgetting what I was watching. Which is I'm assuming that was kind of the point. I'm assuming it was kind of the point to just misdirect that hard. And then when it did shift, I was a little disappointed because I was starting to like where it was going. I was starting to like the broody, broad churchy tone, and the cranky Agnes, Detective Agnes. I was enjoying where that was going, but the shift was nice. It was a slow setup. And by the time it came around, I need to go back and rewatch WandaVision because I don't know if there's stuff that I've just forgotten in the 2-3 years since that came out, or if I just completely missed, or if they're gonna get back to and fill in the gaps later on. I don't know. I do wish we had another couple episodes to see what's happening, where it's going. The characters are really interesting so far. But I feel like we're getting toyed with a little too much. Not that it's a bad thing. Not that it's a bad thing at all. I do like to be toyed with sometimes as an audience member. Especially if there's a payoff, and I think there's probably going to be. Now, I do wish the whole thing were out so I could just binge it. I don't love the one episode a week dropping. I think they should do a hybrid. Give us 2 episodes a week. Give us 2 a week, like a Tuesday and a Thursday, or a Tuesday and a Friday kind of thing.
Yeah,
enough to string you along, but not enough to make you go through withdrawals.
Right.
I don't have the attention span. I'll forget about a show in a week now.
Yeah. Andrew, your thoughts?
I'm hoping for a more comic accurate Salem 7.
You want them all animal?
Yeah, the ridiculous animal people that George Perez designed back in the 70s. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Bruticus and all the Gazelle and Vacuum. Those guys. Yeah.
I don't disagree. But I don't think comic accurate 70s characters translate to film exceptionally well. I would still see it. I would still pay for it. I would still love to see it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
But now I do. God damn it. Now I want to see it.
He's planted the seed. Okay, Ryan, you
I liked how they had the familiar. I think they had the familiars of them kind of haunting her throughout the day. I think that was like the Salem 7's familiars. I thought that was kind of cool.
The gazelle that came out after.
Yeah, like the raven and the rat and the wolf and the yeah.
I did like the neighbor trying to be helpful when she came storming over screaming naked. He's like, whoa,
Takes off his jacket like a
jacket.
gentleman.
He's
Yeah.
trying to put it on her, and she just throws it on the ground. He's like, "Could you go put some pants on?" And I was like, "That guy did a great job for that little bit he was there." Ryan, you said you had some theories.
Yeah. So Luke, tell me who you think Teen is.
I think it's probably just Wiccan. I think that's probably
no. So tell me what you told me yesterday. Pretend that's the other day when we were talking, and tell me that one.
I said one that I thought might be fun would be if it was her son, Nicholas Scratch, mayor of New Salem, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting because they talk about, child sacrifice and stuff like that in the show, that maybe, somehow through magic he was brought back and that's who he ends up being. I think that could be fun. That was
when she's the detective and she walks through her house and goes into the other room, and it makes it you think that she's lost a kid. It pans around that room and it shows like trophies and like a plaque, and it does say Nicholas Scratch on the plaque. I noticed. Do you remember what the name of the bunny is?
I don't.
The name of the bunny is Mr. Scratchy. Or Senior Scratchy or something like that. I think the bunny is her son.
Okay. Well, if Senior Scratchy, I just pulled it up. That was the rabbit in WandaVision. Yeah. That was the boy's rabbit that she had. The one that she caught. Or is it the one that got killed? It's the one that got killed. When it got backed over and then she brought it back to life.
That's the dog.
That's the dog. Okay, that's right.
That's Sparky the dog.
Okay. And then she gave the Agatha gave the rabbit to Wanda. It is a gift.
But it's Agatha's rabbit. And she still has it in the show.
It's still
she goes down in the basement and it's still there.
Interesting. What other theories did you have?
Well, Andrew, what?
Got to go with my main man, Mephisto. That was
Mephisto?
That was the big WandaVision. Every episode. Hawkeye, every episode. It's gonna be Mephisto. Whatever. Yeah. So I got to go with my main man, Mephisto. Yeah.
Daredevil's
setting
number
hard
one
on that
villain?
Silver Surfer number 3. Yeah.
When he speaks, it has I was looking really closely one of the times, and it's an M over the top of his lips. It's not just a squiggle.
I thought it was just stitches.
It's an M.
Shit. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're all wrong. It's just Doctor Doom in disguise.
There you go.
That's it.
Iron Lad.
That's how they're reintroducing the character. That's the only logical explanation, really.
And then he just
damn you, Feige.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he's in everything now.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about it a while ago. The Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom casting. Do you think he was just like, man, I really wish they wouldn't have killed off Iron Man. I feel like I could pump out a few more of those. Can you put me back in something else? I'll play anything. And they were like, sure, you want to be Doctor Doom? And he's like, why not?
No, he specifically is like, can you put me back in another iron suit?
Just mask me up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was still pulling for Adam Driver to play Doctor Doom because I think he would do a very good job at that. Because he's also kind of a bigger guy, so he kind of has that. I don't know. I always see Doom as kind of like always like looking down on everyone, both physically and like from a personality standpoint. So I thought maybe he could do a good job of that. And listen, he's got plenty of time working with the mask on when he was Kylo Ren. Like he could do it.
And I'd have to hear him in a Latvian accent.
Do you think he's going to do a Latvian accent, or is it just deep robot voice? I'm trying to think if I've ever heard Doom other than just like in the cartoons with the robot voice. He doesn't really have an accent.
Oh, they always give him like a German accent or whatever in the in the cartoons, and it doesn't
Vaguely
really make a
Eastern
lot of sense.
European.
Yeah, just vaguely European. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Should
Well,
in the Ultimate Universe, wasn't he like from Amsterdam?
something like that.
Yeah, he was
That
Dutch.
sounds familiar. That
Yeah.
sounds familiar. There was something I was just gonna say. Lost it. So we'll move on. We also had the first episode of The Penguin come out.
How was it?
And
I didn't watch that one.
I think I said it was The Sopranos meets Gotham.
That's what I was thinking it would be.
Yeah,
I think-
kind of. It was interesting. Surprisingly, better than the Batman movie.
Yeah, so far it seems
Like it actually has a plot that
Well, that
makes
and I
some
think-
sense.
yeah. And I think they have a lot of mafia movies that they can kind of lean on to be like, all right, let's grab some tropes from this one and some story points from another one and kind of meld it together with a comic book story. And Colin Farrell did a great job. He even has the little penguin limp as he's walking around.
Does he do anything with the?
Not as of yet.
Kind of. Well, I mean, kind of. He does have an awkward giggle, an awkward penguin-y giggle, but no, he hasn't gone full.
It's
He
because
hasn't
he
gone
doesn't have
full
the top
quack.
hat. He doesn't have the top
Right.
hat and the long.
Once he gets once he
cigarette.
gets the top hat and the monocle, that's
Does he have the?
No,
I don't know what it's
No.
called.
not
Cigarette
yet. But
holder.
that's
Is
when
that
you'll
what
get the laugh.
what it's called? Okay.
That's when you'll get the laugh. Is when that happens.
It's good. I like gangster shows. I really like Boardwalk Empire and things like that. Like shows like that, but they've taken so much out of what makes the Penguin. It might as well just be a gangster show because they changed his name to be more grounded. He doesn't have trick umbrellas. He doesn't dress in a tuxedo. He doesn't have the monocle or the top hat, and he's not committing bird-related crimes. You know what I mean? It's just he's just a gangster, and that's fine. But it's like, then why
We'll
is he the
get
Penguin?
there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Eventually we'll get there. That'll be the end of season 1. He busts out the tuxedo with the tails on it. I really liked Kristen Milotti, who played Sophia Falcone. She was, I believe it was the last episode where we talked about there's an episode of Mythic Quest that was like about the birth and death of video games. And she was in that, and I loved her in that. But in this one, she plays Falcone's daughter, and she was just recently released from Arkham, but we know there was murder involved, but we don't really know why. She does that where her face is calm and like the way she's speaking is calm, but her eyes just look like she is staring right through you. And it's like the crazy eyes. And she does it so well. Like that first episode, I was like, I am more interested in this character than the Penguin currently, because she seems very interesting, and I want to follow up with what she's got going on, which we will get there. But she did a great job. Great job.
Yeah, and hopefully it gets a little. Hopefully it gets a little more goofy Batman-y. Like the card, getting away from the cartoony aspects of the characters. They're inherently ridiculous, and trying to make them serious just makes them boring. So hopefully they can get some kind of flavor back into it. Like they gave him a purple car. Okay. Now let's build on that. They gave him a purple suit. Okay. Come on. Build on that. Come on. Now he's got to go. Now he's got to go crazy. Now he's got to go nuts and lean into the penguin thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mhm.
okay, we're establishing, we're building. Okay, now make him crazy. Make him
Right.
really like
Right.
weird bird things.
Mm-hmm.
But they
Yeah.
did give him
Yes.
an umbrella for 5 minutes, so there's that, I guess.
You guys aren't really convincing me to want to watch it more. Because
No,
I don't
I-
like
Wait for. I would say wait for it all to come
Mm.
out, and then
Mm.
ask us if it pays off in the end,
Mhm.
and maybe I'm not even sold on it. It was good, but I'm not sold on it as a comic book Batman series.
Mhm.
I felt that it did fall. If you liked the Batman,
Sure.
you'll like this.
I didn't hate the Batman. I don't like the crime drama stuff. I don't like Law and Order. I don't like when remember the show Gotham?
Mhm.
I tried to like it and I didn't because it was too cop drama for me. I did not enjoy that show. So I am like, I don't like it. No interest.
Because you
in that.
want Batman, damn it.
Yeah. Like, I don't want real world shit.
We do enough of that in the
Yeah.
real world.
Yeah, it's really hard to watch. Like, it was really hard to watch the Batman and this first episode of the Penguin and just try to imagine that existing in the same world as as Superman and the Suicide Squad, and it
Well,
doesn't.
good thing.
It doesn't
it's not
fit.
supposed to. It's not. It's a different. It's different. It's
Oh,
its
I know.
own,
Yeah, no, it's
own thing.
yeah, I agree.
But
But
no,
I
I
mean,
get what you're saying. I get
not
what you're saying.
not in those same exact, but
Mhm.
it's not ridiculous enough. There isn't enough separation from reality,
Right.
and they really need to be separated from reality. It was like watching the Joker. Like, this is just ridiculous. Don't think of it as, the Joker and it's okay, but try to tell me that's actually the Joker, and in this it doesn't work. Doesn't work at all.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, and I'll cite a source. David Mazzucchelli, the artist on Batman Year One, said the closer comic book characters, superheroes, get to reality, the more absurd it all becomes.
Mhm.
And then he's one of the guys that's responsible for bringing that real world logic to our superheroes. He
So
understands
I've
better
gone
than
too far.
anybody.
Okay, I get
He
it.
understands better than anybody on like that tightrope walk. You gotta walk to get that line between
Mhm.
ridiculous and grounded.
Right. So I went and saw it was one of those Fathom events, the Christopher Reeve Superman documentary, and it was
Oh.
about his is about his life, and it is produced by DC and HBO, CNN, so it'll be on Max. I believe the day this comes out, the 25th, it'll still be in theaters. I think that's the last day it's in theaters. But that was one of the hardest documentaries I have ever watched. Because you just feel so bad for his family, especially his youngest son. But one thing that I took away from it is, well, I guess that I didn't realize before. I didn't realize him and Robin Williams were such good friends.
Yeah, they went to
Yeah,
Juilliard
mhm.
together.
Yeah, and also how much he helped financially support him with the medical stuff near the end when Christopher Reeve wasn't really. It was before he kind of got into directing. There was a time there where like he couldn't go anywhere, so Robin and his wife bought him the van that he could get strapped into so he could leave the house, and taking the kids away to Disney World so they can go just have some fun times and stuff like that. And they had like Susan Sarandon was in the documentary, Glenn Close, Jeff Daniels. And there was something that Glenn Close said that she said she was just good friends with both of them. And she said that she believes to this day that if Chris hadn't passed away, Robin would still be alive, because that's how much they
Really?
leaned on each other for support and stuff like that. And I was like, ugh, like that was tough. But it talks about how he would do when he got cast as Superman, he was actually working in an off-Broadway troupe with Jeff Daniels and William Hurt. And when he told them that he was going to be Superman, William Hurt went off on this whole thing. You're selling out. You can't do that. And I was like, wait, General Thunderbolt Ross was yelling at Superman for selling out? I was like, okay. But he he said when he got the role, he had to do they put him in the suit, and he was doing the screen tests with all the Lois Lanes, and he was just sweating through the suit, but he just kept doing the scenes and stuff like that. And they said he was always had a smile on his face, like. And also Jeff Daniels, he's like, when I first met him, I was like, oh, look at this Hollywood guy with his square chin, and he's 6'4". He's like, this guy is handsome as hell. He's like, but then he's like, you talk to him and you're like, this is the nicest person I've ever talked to in my life. He's like, it fit that he got a lot of that stuff. And they had some old footage of Richard Donner talking about how he came in. And it was one of the first scenes where they make him fly towards the camera, and he banks like away from the camera. Apparently that was Christopher's idea, because originally he was just going to fly over the camera, but he was like, what if I just turn my body and it looks like we just right in front of the camera? He said that was the first shot that they did of him flying. And, they'd never done that before. Like, just technologically never done it before. And like, they stopped, and he said everyone applauded, and they're like, this movie's going to be awesome. But yeah, it was really good. I suggest going to see it. His youngest son is actually going to be in the next Superman movie, the James Gunn. He's got a little bit part in it, which I think is really awesome. For him. And I believe he's also a reporter for CNN. So his son turned into Clark Kent. And he looks just like his dad too. He's big, tall guy too. He's got the jaw. But yeah, it was hard to watch at times, but it was also like, you can see why everyone loved that guy and everything he did for paraplegics and people with spinal cord injuries and stuff like that. It was really awesome. So I highly suggest watching it. But it's gonna tug at the heart a little bit. I don't think there was a point in there that there was someone not crying at some point in that theater. You could just hear sniffles everywhere. But it was really good. So I highly suggest seeing that. The other thing I watched that I wanted to ask if you guys had seen any of the Batman Cape Crusader from Amazon Prime.
Yeah, the new animated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's on my list.
What was that, Andrew?
I've seen most of it. I think I'm just missing the last 2 episodes.
It's by a lot of the same people that were involved with the original Batman animated series, Bruce Timm, but also they have Matt Reeves, who's did the Batman and Penguin. He's also an executive producer on this, but it definitely has the vibe of the original Batman animated series. There's some changes. Penguin is a woman in this. Commissioner Gordon and Barbara Gordon are African American. Harley Quinn they have a different portrayal of her, and she's, I believe, Asian American. So there's a lot more diversity in it. But it just feels like that old Batman, which I really, really liked. And there are some points too where I was like, this is kind of like, if my daughter was watching this, I'm like, this is kind of scary. Like, I don't know if she would be like, there's, not a ton of it, but just there's times where you're like, ooh, that's okay. And I did like that they let Diedrich Bader, who did the voice of Batman and Batman Brave and the Bold and all those other animated ones. He's Harvey Dent in this. So that I was like, that's cool. That's cool that, you're not Batman this time, but you can be Harvey Dent. Yeah. So that's another one I suggest, especially if you like the old Batman.
I mean, that's good to hear. I've been afraid. I've actually been afraid to watch it. I adored that Batman animated series. Just
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I didn't want my heart broken again. So are you telling me it's good?
Yeah, it's got that like 1930s, 1940s Gotham feel to it that the animated series had.
Right. Like it's designed and drawn by somebody who has heard of the 1930s, but knows nothing about it. I do. I like that.
Like all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. For the last little bit before we do comic reviews, it's actually I'll go last because it leads into my comic reviews. But we just had the big Marvel Blood Hunt event where everyone was fighting vampires. And it got me thinking as I was reading this, what some good, like a good superhero team to fight vampires or superheroes to fight vampires that don't necessarily like, that's not their MO. That's not what they do on a daily basis, is go out and find vampires. And we had talked about it back when we first talked about Blood Hunt, and we thought that, Father Matt Murdock, vampire hunter would be fun because he could just bless people and then have crucifix billy clubs. But I wanted to pick your guys' brains and see if there were ones that you thought might be good vampire hunters that aren't necessarily vampire hunters.
Super Mario Brothers, Mario and Luigi.
Yeah,
they got the garlic connection.
Just covered in garlic.
Yep. Covered in garlic and just tons of pipes. That's all you need. Garlic and pipes. Vampires won't stand a chance.
Okay. Ryan, do you want to go next, or Andrew, do you want to go?
I'll go last.
Okay.
So I was thinking like the ones that immediately popped into mind are like Batman and Wolverine. So I think they would be fantastic. Batman would make like you like sunlight powered, not powered, but sunlight emitting gadgets, batarangs. And Wolverine just cut them to shreds. Does bone count like as like penetrating? Like, would bone be like a suitable substitute for wood?
I don't think just behead the vampire. You're good.
Oh yeah, that works too. Yeah.
So I guess my question on that is, if he was bitten, does his healing factor stop that? Because I feel like I've seen a cover of vampire, right?
Because yes, most of the time, but sometimes no.
Depends on the vampire.
Yeah.
Dracula, absolutely.
It kind of depends if the vampires are magical or biological.
Yeah.
But would you notice a difference if Logan turned to a vampire? Really, what would be the difference?
There's a
he'd be
terrific
trying-
what if comic on that subject.
And then if I'm thinking Batman, I thought Moon Knight would be a good vampire hunter
Mhm.
for similar reasons. Maybe not for like gadgetry, but like fighting style, supernatural shenanigans seems fit for that.
Yeah, his
Ghost
go
Rider?
random
Yeah.
bullshit could
Yeah,
just be
yeah.
crucifixes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Ghost Rider
his
would be
Khonshu
good,
stuff would
burning
count
them
as
all.
whole
Yeah.
symbols
Oh,
to him.
Yeah. That. Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And then you said Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider will just burn them. I think that would be useful.
Yeah, hard to bite that guy.
Mm-hmm. Penance Stare,
Mm-hmm.
useful.
Yeah.
I think
What about
Wonder
what
Woman
about
would
what
be
about
good.
what about Nightcrawler?
Well, so I'm thinking like maybe Nightcrawler could teleport their heads away. That would be
He could.
probably
Yeah.
neat.
Would Kurt do that, or would he be trying to save them?
It depends on if he's
Mhm.
come to the conclusion of that they're dead or not.
You
I
know,
always thought
or
Groot
if they
would be really good.
Groot
Who?
would be good.
Groot
Yeah.
would be really good.
It-
Sandman,
Enhanced by its
Fantastic.
stakes, yeah.
yeah, Man Thing he could turn into garlic,
Mm.
and then Hydro Man could team up with the Father Daredevil, and he could turn him
Just
into holy
bless
water
him.
Yeah.
and just wash through the army. Machine Man was really good at fighting zombies, so he'd probably be pretty good at fighting vampires.
Mhm.
Before the show started, somebody mentioned The Thing. Was that you, Kyle?
Yep, that was me.
Oh,
That was me.
Thing
Yeah,
was really good.
Yep, that leads into mine. I think 3/4 of the Fantastic Four would be excellent vampire hunters. The Thing, because he can't be bitten. Reed Richards, because he can't be bitten and he'll probably figure out a cure for it. And the Human Torch, who can UV rays and just turn into a sun and just fry them as he flies through.
I mean, Sue could just. You got
Sue
Mario
is-
terms in my brain. She could just bubble,
Mhm.
not be bitten.
Just walk around with Johnny.
Yeah.
Just this little bubble. So yeah, the Fantastic Four would be excellent vampire hunters. Where's that what if comic where they're storming Dracula's castle?
Right. You know, thinking about it, just about any of the superheroes you throw in there is just kind of an unfair fight.
Green arrow, stake arrows.
Yeah,
Just Superman.
right. Right. Like, who doesn't stand a chance? That's the thing. Maybe that's the better question.
I mean, probably non-father Matt Murdock would have a tough time if he was
Could Green
just Matt
Arrow
Murdock.
manifest wooden stakes if he willed hard enough?
Green Arrow or Green Lantern?
Oh, sorry, Green Lantern. That's what I meant.
Probably. Again, or he could just get giant scissors and just start chopping their heads off.
Oh, yeah. Guys are just too practical with the beheadings.
Well, you did get
It's-
Groot because then he could
It's
just
yeah.
Yeah.
go through all of them. And
I really like your
Mhm.
line of thinking there, Andrew, with all of the nature based.
Yeah, and it's all characters that can't be bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's why the Thing was one of the first ones that popped out. There's like, go ahead and try. You're biting a rock.
He fought the Blood Brothers back in the day, and they were kind of space vampires, and they could bite through, but they're different. They weren't like
Yeah.
Darkhold vampires.
I wonder, Wanda might be pretty good.
Aquarian, if we want to dig deep.
You'll have to explain who Aquarian is.
Oh, he's a Steve Gerber character from, I think he started in Man Thing and he hung out with the Thing a lot back in Marvel 2-in-1.
Mhm.
But he has the ability, he just absorbs all energy directed to him. So he has a null field. And so
Okay.
you just can't get him. But he's also,
Okay.
his origin was kind of a parody of Superman, where he's sent to Earth as a baby and he has superpowers on Earth, but his parents were crackpots, and the planet wasn't actually just being destroyed. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty good.
What about Luke Cage?
Oh yeah,
I mean, Luke Cage wouldn't have any problem. I think the weak links are like Namor and Aquaman.
Yeah.
Like-
Again, unless they teamed up with a priest of some sort, and then they could just
Mhm.
bless the ocean.
Right. Right.
Aquaman routinely deals with the mermaid vampires, whatever they are. Like he has a whole race of vampires down there with him.
Okay, that could be true.
that's the
Yeah,
trench,
yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
trench ones. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't count because they're underwater, and you know,
That's a good place
Water
to,
doesn't
for
count.
vampires
underwater
to
people
hide.
don't
There's no
count.
sunlight.
They're not even really people, really. If you kind of think about it, really shouldn't be allowed to vote.
The mer people can't vote. Yeah, there's
Squirrel Girl would be good because she's good at everything.
Right.
It's true.
Got
I
that
mean, talk
plot.
about an unfair fight.
Squirrel Girl versus a horde of vampires. Sorry, vampires. You didn't stand a chance. I'm trying to think of more DC ones that might be like Wonder Woman, obviously, is a good one.
Yeah, I think Wonder Woman would be great.
Because she would love it. She's like, yes, a battle. Yeah.
I'm stuck on thinking who's a bad one. Like Booster Gold. How would Booster Gold stand up?
Yeah,
just
Justice
be very
League
confused.
International would have a
Very
rougher
confused.
time. Yeah.
The Great Lakes Avengers versus vampires. Yeah. I'm thinking of bad ones is. Yeah, but again, I keep going back to the ones that can't be bitten and turned. That's kind of where my brain is at. In the Fantastic Four books that I'm going to review, they actually do talk about Reed is trying to comfort Alicia, saying that, like, listen, there's a 49% chance that they're fine. There's a 49% chance that everything's bad, and there's a 1% chance that Johnny got turned into a vampire due to inattentiveness, and the rest have to now figure out how to make him turn into the Human Torch to burn out the disease. And she goes, let's make that a solid 20%. So that's the downside of the Human Torch being a vampire hunter, because he may get distracted or seduced by a vampire lady and turned. So that there's a downside there.
Johnny is easily seduced.
Batman too, especially by vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nocturna. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She appears in the new Batman show too. A version of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just remembered the episode of Batman that I thought might be a little too scary, and it was the carnival episode. And I
Yeah,
was like,
one
this
was
is
not
kind of creepy for a kid, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. So but yeah, I'll just roll into real quick. I read Fantastic Four number 21
Were
and
there
22.
vampires?
The vampire tie-in. So it was during the blood hunt stuff.
Good.
And Reed and it starts out really cool because I always love this. Reed and Alicia go to a art exhibit in New York that they've recreated famous works of art, but they've made it 3D so people with vision impairments can feel the paintings. So they have like a 3D painting of Mona Lisa, and it's the first time Alicia can see the Mona Lisa, and she has like this, emotional like experience with it. And Reed is like, I don't get it. He's like, I don't understand how people can see art and have this emotional reaction. And she's like, I mean, it's fine. You don't have to. But he's like, I feel like I'm missing out because he doesn't understand a thing. And with Reed Richards, he needs to understand a thing. So they're doing that when the whole blood hunt event kicks off and the world gets shrouded in darkness. There's vampires everywhere. And Reed kind of just stretches his body around the inside of all the exits and the inside of the museum to keep all the people safe because they can't bite him. He can feel them trying to bite him, but they can't pierce his skin. So he's just like, all right, we can do this, but we need a more permanent solution. So eventually they get everyone and they rescue people along the way, and they get to Madison Square Garden. And they are able to turn the lights on there to keep the vampires away. And there's another really good discussion where she's talking to Reed and she's like, you're trying to cure vampirism, and this is obviously a magic thing. So the science isn't going to line up with the magic. And again, he's just like, I don't understand. No, the science makes it science. And she's like, okay, but it's magic though, Reed. It doesn't make sense. And then he finally kind of clicks together. He of course builds a machine that vibrates the vampiric virus magical waves out of people's bodies, but he never actually gets to use it because it clears up before he gets it done. And then there's some stuff cutting back to Arizona where the Thing, Human Torch, the kids, and Sue are going from house to house rescuing people. They have this big wagon that Sue turns into this armored force field wagon, and they just put everybody in there, and the Thing is pulling it and punching vampires, and Johnny's just flying around frying them all up. But yeah, it's really good. I never thought about Fantastic Four vampire hunters, but I was like, they would be pretty successful just with their base power sets in getting it done. But yeah, so that's what I read. Ryan North has, again, if you've listened to the show, I have praised this book since issue 1, and it is still great. So yes, go read that. That's what I have for comics this week. Anybody else got anything they want to talk about?
Yeah, I read the What If Donald Duck Was Thor comic this week. I liked it a lot better than the Donald Duck Was Wolverine comic, because this was more of just a comedic retelling of the first appearance of Thor, where he's fighting the Cronin stone ducks in this case. And then the stone ducks
Norwegian caves.
Yeah. And then and it was more fun and lighthearted rather than it being a satire of Old Man Logan, which I thought was tonally all over the place. But yeah, it was a fun one. But I like Donald Duck comics.
Yeah. I keep seeing those, and since they messed with me a while ago, like the Minnie Mouse as Captain Marvel, but it's an Amazing Spider-Man comic, and everyone's like, what? Why is that the cover? Why don't you just write this comic?
And so they're doing that. That's coming out later.
Oh, okay. So now they're actually doing
that
it
one. Yeah.
After they duped us all last year.
Yeah, there was the Donald Duck as Havoc cover, but it was a Spider-Man comic. Yeah.
And I was just like, but I want to see this though. Why don't you show this to me? Yeah. Brian, Kyle, you guys
didn't even know that was a thing that they were doing. I need to leave the house more. Clearly.
Ryan, did you get a chance to read anything this week? Well, all right. So that's all I have. You guys have anything else you want to plug before we wrap this up?
Yes. You can find Validi Studios at validistudios.com, all over social media, and Chris drawing live on Whatnot every Monday evening at 7. But this week you can find us at Salt Lake FanX. We will be I will be on panels Thursday and Friday afternoon, and with Luke. So look for us there. And then you can also find us at the Comic Creator booth signing Friday noon to 4.
Hey, Kyle, you had
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah. I got a book.
Hey,
I know. You can buy it.
what's
Crazy
the book
how that
called,
works.
Kyle?
Oh no, this is the Tales of Weirderland, the collected volumes. These are six kid stories, 6 children's fantasy stories that you can buy and read to your kids, or tell them to go read for themselves and leave you alone. It'll buy you it'll buy you some time.
Awesome. Where can I purchase such a fine product?
You can purchase such a fine product through every major book retailer online, and maybe hopefully very soon in some physical stores. I don't
Hey.
know. I'm talking to people. Maybe people want to give it shelf space. I don't know. It's not an easy thing to do, to try to get people to want to buy stuff, but it's happening. It's working. People seem to be enjoying it so far.
Good. And we'll put links to where you can buy it in the description of the show as
You
well.
can.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
yeah,
probably a good
awesome.
idea.
Yeah.
I should have thought to do that. I'm very good at this.
All right, I got you covered. It's fine. I got you. But yeah, and as Andrew said, panels on Thursday and Friday. We've got one about the 50 years of Wolverine and Jack Kirby. So good stuff. But yeah, so that's all I got. Thanks for listening. Make sure you go check out Valiety Studios. You check out podcastwithoutfear.com. Check out Kyle's book. Say hi to Ryan. Make sure you let him know that the X-Men are like your third favorite team. Do it in a public place, excessively loud, so he definitely hears you.
Disparage the Summers family as loud as possible.
I will look shocked and run away.
That will always do the trick.
But yeah, thanks for listening, and that's all I got. Ryan,
don't forget to subscribe.
You may now exit the dome. Oh, Chris isn't here. Kyle.
Yeah.
Say fuck responsibility.
I can't do that now.
Okay.
I'm a responsible role model. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. For you. Fuck responsibility.
I could see the whole time.
Hail Hydra.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say here.
Stop emailing us your genitals, please.
Yeah.
Has that happened before? Tell me that hasn't happened.
Not nearly enough.
Oh.
I don't.
So are we still?
I should put my email address in the description. My DMs are open.
He's like, you never said anything about emailing someone else's genitals. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye.